I originally aspired to be an architect, and even way back when I was in grade school had about me stories where I talked about wanting to be an architect. So it was a very long-standing dream. Fast forward, I went to architecture school undergrad, and one really amazing experience that I had was studying abroad my 4th year in Paris. We did a project where I was able to work on a stormwater infrastructure project that also gave us access to the canals of Paris in the 19th arrondissement. That was kind of my first foray into what city planning maybe could be. I don't know that there was one defining moment that made me realize that city planning was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my career. It really was a lot of small moments, because that's where a lot of our impact is in the planning realm. It's the conversation that you have as a sidebar at a community meeting where you make a meaningful engagement with somebody. It's seeing, kids bouncing around in a playground that are a direct result of a plan that you put together, a decision you made, a code you wrote. I ended up going back to school and studying that for my graduate degree, and it became endgame as opposed to a stopgap in the middle. I found a real passion for it. I choose to stay with CPL because leadership has invested in me from day one. They've been able to give me opportunities for me to grow and kind of expand my experiences, as well as pivot when there's been something new or different that I wanted to participate in. I grew to lead the placemaking practice from a small role at a local government doing planning coordinator work. So I started taking in applications for zoning projects, for building permits, and eventually, after growing to a senior planner with that community through a CPL contract, ended up transitioning into a project management role. And so new challenges, of course, understanding how to manage scope, schedule, and budget that hadn't been a part of my world before then. A really impactful project that comes to mind is a public engagement process for Murphy Candler Park. We were looking at doing a lake house project, and so the city came to us as we were doing the design for the rest of the park, and there was this desire to understand, is there a new lake house? Are we renovating the scout hut that's already there? What are the different players and stakeholders that we need to consider? And so we put together a strategy for how to engage with all of these dissenting opinions. It was a kind of a budgeting exercise of, we've got a limited budget, we've got these competing priorities, so how are we going to align these and come up with kind of a plan at the end for what we're doing with this lake house. I don't really have a typical work day. Really, the day can be anything from working with my team, mentoring, working with clients, client meetings, all the way to production work of really diving into a unified development ordinance or a zoning code. I really welcome the challenge of being able to see what the day has to bring and who needs assistance, whether it be a client or an internal team member. Something else that's really interesting about what we do, especially with the on-call work, is every day you could go in, work with a city manager, a county manager, and a set of elected officials. Doing the on-call work, we essentially are able to get 10 careers in one, because we're working for a bunch of different managers and a bunch of different elected officials. So it's not only variety, but you get a lot of different insight into different leadership styles, policies, so it keeps it all really interesting. My philosophy around leadership is really pedestrian and approachable. I think I am best suited to work in more of a mentorship environment. Really, the passion of the team and the ability to kind of work together is, as a leader, really rewarding to see. I'm Rebecca Keefer, and I want to grow a practice that helps people create their place and their purpose.